It's never easy in the National Hockey League. No foe comes in and just rolls over. But when Colorado comes to town, you know that you're going to have to play a pretty solid game. And Chico Resch, the Devils, as they won 8 straight by beating Colorado 4-3, it was a test of perseverance, diligence, and in the end, they overcome all of that and come away with the win.
Well, another example, too, Maddie, of finding a way to win. They give up the third period lead. Okay. They haven't been in overtime. Okay. Those are challenges, character challenges for your team. And what do? They kept going, and then they got the win. And I don't know that Sheldon Keefe's going to say that at his post-game show. But once again, Maddie, it was simply they didn't dominate the whole game, not even close. But what's the bottom line? A W. They found a way to win.
16 out of a possible 18 points to start the season. I mean, you could have drawn it up better. They could be 9-0 to start, but for the most part, this is exactly what the Devils wanted to do, get off to the quick start and just build up a cushion.
And I think they're the number one team in the league now in terms of the number of games they played. And that's it. You can't say, well, they lost the game they should have won. No, they won a few games. Maybe someone might say they could have lost, but that's what winning teams do.
While we await Sheldon Keefe and some reaction from the Devils dressing room, let's check the highlights of this one, and we're going to go back to the first period, what seemed to be kind of an innocuous play, although I don't know that anything that involves Nathan MacKinnon can be considered an innocent play. But here's what unfolded in a scoreless game. Puck in the Devils, and here's a chance. Oh, glove save by Allen on MacKinnon, who in close snapped one high, and Jake's glove has been a weapon this year. So, two things. First off, it kept it scoreless, and MacKinnon, one of the most dangerous players in the game. But on that play, Brett Pesce was accidentally high-sticked. It wasn't called by Marty Necas.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Pesce stayed in the game for most of the rest of the period, but with about 5 minutes to go, we saw the last shift of the first and the last shift of the game. We'll see what the report is, but he did not return, and Devils played with 5 defensemen the rest of the way. We're going to talk more about that in a moment, and highlights coming your way as well. But downstairs we go to Jesper Bratt. Jesper, it's Matt and Chico. Thanks very much for your time. I know it's getaway day, and we are all anxious to get on the plane and head to Denver. But I want to ask you, what did a win like this mean? It was different than other victories this season, first in overtime and against a really high-powered opponent. What is this game all about? Hello, Jesper. Not down there yet. All right, so we await Jesper Bratt. Hopefully we'll be able to hook up with him and discuss today's game. So anyway, Jake makes that save. We'll see what the story is with Brett Pesce.
Yeah, that's a biggie.
Yeah, and so the Devils play with 5 defensemen the rest of the way. But not only did that keep it scoreless, it gave the Devils to take a lead. In a short time after that save, that's exactly what happened. Here's Meyer with the puck. He moves down the left wing wall. Gets it to Gritsuk. Tees one up. He scores! He kicked the puck from his skate to his stick. He elevated over the glove of Miner, and it's a 1-0 Devils lead. And so Arseny Gritsuk with his second National Hockey League goal.
Just a gorgeous shot upstairs. And the Devils must have learned from it. You know, all 4 goals went on the glove side. Too low, too high. Yep. They're recognizing what they see from the bench, and Gritsuk got it started.
And for Arseny Gritsuk, that goal coming at 9:09. Timo Meier with the assist. A lot of good work done in the corner on that goal. Now we're told that Jesper Bratt will join us downstairs,
good.
And we understand you had a VIP you had to say hello to before you joined us, Jesper, and understandably so. What I had asked prior was, what did this win, the way it happened, the way it unfolded, what's the difference between this and other wins this year?
Well, I think today was just another recipe for us, the way we played it. Doesn't really matter who our opponent is and how fast they are and what tall players they have. When we stay with our system, we stay with our structure, and we believe in what we're doing, we're a really, really hard team to beat. So it was just another good recipe for us.
Well, some great wins this year already, Jesper. You know, like the fans, we love the overtime, right? 3-on-3. But what about the players? Like, you could say, well, if you lose, it doesn't hurt that much because it's only 3-on-3. But what's the mindset of players when 3-on-3 starts?
I mean, it's a lot more space. It's a lot more fun. I mean, you get to. I mean, a player like me get to skate a lot more with the puck. I get a lot more time and space. So,
yeah.
I mean, it's also hard because it's all about possession play, right? It's the ice is so big that it's once you lose the puck, it's hard to get it back. So it's all about making those smart shots and making sure you don't give up the puck in bad areas of the ice, and just try to be confident with the puck that you can create stuff, and try to get the other team to have long shifts in their D zone, and then you get some momentum, you line change, and you get fresh guys on the ice. It's all a big process.
I was wondering if you had time to think about, you talked about possession. Devils appear to be on the verge of giving up possession, but Nemitz makes a play, gets it to Jack just after Jack had missed an opportunity. And I'm wondering, did you have a time to think, oh, darn, we might not get the puck back? Like, what happens? Are you just like, let me get to the bench, we're going to get some other guys on there, and we just have to keep going?
I mean, I think as soon as we got the puck into the zone there, I was kind of the guy that had possession of it. I just kind of slinged it to the weak side to Jack, and then I figured I would get a line change in to get one more fresh guy out on the ice, so at least we can do one line change at a time, and didn't really see too much what happened. I saw Jack's one opportunity. I mean, missed it, puck retrieval. They're all turning one way, they're all tired, and then that's when you can strike usually. So really good play by Nemo, keeping the puck in, and then obviously a elite shot by Jack.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many thought processes going into hockey. People don't realize. But I'm wondering, I just made note, Jesper, all 4 goals were scored over the glove on Minor. You're on the bench, you're watching. Do players watch the other goalie and say, well, he might be doing this a little bit or that a little tonight, and I think he might be vulnerable? Or do you just go for your strength and shoot there?
I think everyone's different. I mean, a lot of guys probably like to have that visual pre-scout to see a little bit and kind of visualize themselves in certain areas, what areas they usually have the puck on, and some guys are just pure instinct. So it's probably a little bit of both. I think the goalies are so good at taking away the bottom of the ice now that some goalies are it's a better time to shoot high blocker, sometimes high glove, and I think it was just kind of part of how the whole team planned out why the goals were scored in that area.
Well, Jesper, we appreciate your time. We will see you in Denver on Tuesday night as the Devils try to make it 9 straight wins. Thanks very much for your time.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Jesper Bratt joining us after the victory over the Colorado Avalanche. Chico, we left the highlights with Arseni Gritsu giving the Devils the lead at 9:09 with his second goal of the season. And as the fans were just starting to settle in their seats over the excitement of the lead, that lead was extended by Jack Hughes. Over the glove, under the bar, and now Jack Hughes moves in deep with the shot, scores! This one low glove side on Minor. 2 quick strikes for the Devils, and the lead moves to 2-0. 39 seconds after Gritsu gives the Devils the 1-0 lead, Jack Hughes, with his first of 2, makes it 2-0. And you never think, especially against a good opponent like Colorado, like, oh, okay, they're on their way to a big victory. But it sure looked pretty good at that point.
Well, it did, and that's Jack Hughes. Like, Jack Hughes takes what's given to him sometimes. But then in overtime, he created it by stick handling through. But this time, folks, he just gets the puck wide. And if you could only watch practices on how many pucks that man shoots time after time. So he's fallen down. He saw one go up high over the goaltender, Minor. This one, he shoots it. It was maybe 2 feet off the ice. Honestly, the goalie probably should have had it. But the quickness and maybe the surprise. I thought, well, is Jack going to shoot there? No, he's going to try to do something a little more creative. But then that's when you think that, then he shoots it. And if you think he's just going to shoot, he'll do something creative, and that's what the great players do.
And so the Devils had a 2-0 lead, but Colorado, to their credit, again, they are a good team. They're one of the favorites to come out of the West and get to the Stanley Cup final. They started to do what as they scored the next 2 goals?
Well, they started to say, guys, let's get it simple. Let's go to the net, right? Start driving the net. And, guys, if you get the puck on the board, the point, and you can get it to the net, let's go and see if we can get some rebounds, some tips. And the other thing was, I don't know if they knew this, but Brett Pesce wasn't going to be in the second period as well. But in the second period, they really took over.
Yeah, they were the better side. They outshot the Devils 10-3 in the second after Nichushkin and McKinnon had scored in the first to tie it at 2. But as things would turn out, just 3 shots on goal for the Devils, they would score. But when you're under some pressure and it's Colorado pushing the attack, you rely even more on your goalie, and Jake Allen came up strong. Devils can't clear, though. Turn driving it toward the net as Landeskog gets off a stick and off the glass. And now the Devils stay in their zone. They can't get the puck out. Here's a chance. Glove save by Allen on Drury.
Oh, what a play.
Why?
Well, he didn't overplay the puck, right? The puck, here's 2 kinds of saves. There's some saves for a goalie when you can be stationary, and that's what you like. But there are some saves where you've got to be moving laterally and say, I can't go too hard, or I'll give the backside. I can't go too slow, or I'll give the side that the player's moving to. You got to be right in that middle. But at the same time, Maddie, you can't let those hands drop, fall. They got to stay right where they need to be, and that's where Jake Allen's was in that snapper by Drury back against the grain. He just snagged that, and but you mentioned it in your earlier highlight. That glove was a weapon today.
Yeah, it's been formidable for sure for Jake Allen, who with the victory improved to 5-0-0 on the season. That kept the game tied at 2. And then on one of the 3 shots the Devils had, well, it was Connor Brown paying some more early season dividends. Paul Cotter with it, moves back in deep, winds it around, nobody there for the Devils. Manson drives one off the glass. Sean pinches in, sweeps it out high. Colton gets it in front off a stick, batted clear by Nemitz. It'll be a 2-0 for the Devils. It's Brown, moves in, scored! Connor Brown as Nemitz found him streaking, and it's 3-2. And that gave the Devils the 1-goal lead. Connor Brown coming over as the free agent signing and has delivered everything and more.
Oh, can you imagine how good he feels? Leaving Edmonton and his buddy Connor McDavid wasn't easy. He's coming here. He said, I want to make an impact. And not only, Maddie, when you score goals, you make an impact, but breakaway goals. That's his, second one? Scored a shorthanded goal against Edmonton. So it's not only that he scored, and he has, but they've been important goals. They're a goal that the crowd can see, from the blue line in. And it's just a beautiful thing to watch. And I got a feeling he's riding a high that he hasn't been on probably since maybe even junior hockey.
Nemitz with the only assist, his second of the game, and the goal coming at 12:51. The Devils had a 3-2 lead. But again, it was a Colorado period for sure. They were the better side, and it's not often that we don't have a big-time hit or a goal as our play of the game, or a save that comes at a late moment as our play of the game. Yeah. But we are going to call this particular play late in the second period with just seconds remaining the Prudential play of the game, brought to you by Prudential, the Devils' official financial services partner. And now it's Landeskog outletting with 20 seconds to go. Comes in on Allen, quickly up ahead to Meyer. Redirects it. Natchez, though, overskates it. Now here's McKinnon with it. Tries to get by Luke Hughes. Luke stays with him. Meyer comes over to help to the blue line. McCarr. Now to Taves. Taves with a shot. Tip save made by Allen. Oh, what a beautiful stop by Jake Allen on the tip by Gabe Landeskog at the very end of the period. And it's not 3-2 going to the third if he doesn't get that pad on it.
Great call, Maddie. I don't get who picks the stars, but Jake Allen could have been a star. He didn't give up one sneaky goal at all. They were all terrific goals. but he made 4 or 5 glorious saves, and that was one there right at the end of the second. That would have been I think it would have been a killer if they had scored.
So Colorado the better team, but the Devils had the only goal, and they had a 3-2
right.
lead. That save again was the play of the game, brought to you by Prudential, the Devils' official financial services partner. And so then we go into the third period, and the Devils are trying to close it out, when unfortunately Shimon Nemitz kind of got beat on a play in the corner. Brock Nelson wound up being open in front, and he tied it up with his second goal of the season at 13:55. Neither team scores the rest of the way, and so we go to overtime. And, well, for the 9th time in his career, Jack Hughes sends the Devils faithful home in a happy frame of mind. Gives it off to Natchez at the Devils' blue line. McKinnon accepts the pass in the center circle. Pushes across, burst of speed. Can't get around Pratt, who stripped him of the puck. Pratt gives it to Hamilton. Quickly ahead to Jack. Across the line. Jack chops it off for Pratt. Nemitz joins the attack. Here's Jack with the pass. Makes a move between the circles. Has it on the backhand. Sends it wide.
Oh, that's too bad, Matty. What a move. Here we go.
Here's Nemitz in front for Jack. Takes his time. Shot scored! Jack Hughes misses the opportunity first time, not the second. It's an overtime game winner as the Devils win their 8th straight game. They win 4-3. And Jack Hughes, 9th overtime game-winning goal, second in franchise history behind the great Patrick Elias.
Yeah, he went ahead of, was it Scotty Niedermayer?
Yep.
Yeah. But here's the thing I'm watching. The Avalanche had 3 guys on the left side. That's where the puck was. Jack had missed that great chance, so he came out in front of the net. Makar's over there, and everybody, and Nemitz with a great pass. But I'm watching Jack, like in practice almost, Matty. He could stand there, and he could make the goalie nervous. And the more the goalie got nervous, the more he went down. He didn't come over to cover that side. He stayed on the blocker side. So Jack says, I'm just going to shoot this up over your shoulder. And he got a piece of the shoulder, but into the net. But, I mean, Jack Hughes is so good at being calm under pressure. What's the rush? I'm going to pick my spot and score. That's what he did.
And so as he returns from the shoulder surgery in the summer, injury at the end of last year, he has put that behind him, and we wish him, of course, good health the rest of the way. Devils win by a score of 4-3, now 8-1-0 on the season. They get ready for Colorado on Tuesday night. Our pregame show begins the coverage at 8:50 here on the Devils Hockey Network. While we wait for the head coach, let's see what Jack had to say after the game.
Jack, yesterday when we were talking to Sheldon, he said this was a different type of challenge, different type of opponent, and you guys needed to meet the moment. How do you feel sort of this played out for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, they're a great team and with some great players. So I think that, they played yesterday. We had to jump on them a little bit, but I think that's our next game too, right? So I'm sure they're going to be back at home after a road trip and be ready to roll. So tonight was a good win for us, but yeah, it's a really good team over there.
How about Nemo, just sort of that wall play there to get you the puck?
Yeah, it's a good play. Get that puck back to recover that and get it over to me. So obviously good play by him on that winning goal.
Jack, how about your team's just ability to not really quit? Like you guys, in the second period there, it looks like, the shot differential was pretty bad, and then you guys end up coming away with the lead anyway.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, that's a really good team over there. So we've played some good teams as of late, and you got to know that when they got McKinnon, Nekic, and Makar on the ice, they're gonna get their shifts, they're gonna have their looks. So we just got to hold the fort down when they do turn it up like that. And obviously that's what we did. We held it, and then Brownie scores to give us a lead. So we've been doing a good job at that.
Jack, it just feels like we keep talking about how strong Allen's been. He just comes up with these big saves and these big moments.
Yeah, he's been playing great for us, and we're happy that he's playing well, and we're happy that Marky's back. So we got a lot of belief in all 3 of our goalies, honestly, with Dawsey too. So another great game by Jaker, and we're happy for him.
What does it say about the team to win this game without Pesh?
Yeah, that hurts. That's a tough blow that he misses the rest of the game, and we'll see how he is. But yeah, good job by our D-core stepping up against McKinnon, Nekic, these guys. That's one of the tougher lines in hockey you'll have to play. So it's a really good job as our unit, our 5 guys back there stepping up.
Jack Hughes speaking with the media. Let's check in with the head coach.
The late time goal.
Yeah, I thought we did a good job. I mean, we got out and got to our game, I thought, pretty early and, got a lead. So we were at a pretty good spot there. I don't like how we handled that in the back end of the first period, but yeah, it's kind of a bit of a call to action there, when you lose not just a defenseman, but such an integral defenseman in Pesce, and especially against a team like this that is so dynamic offensively that to lose a defender like him is hard. So the group had to rally, not just the D, but the whole team has to try to help them and take care of them. And I didn't think we did the best job of that in the second period, but funny enough, you give up the goal and they tie the game in the third. But I thought we played an excellent third period from a defensive standpoint. We didn't give up much. I think their goal at about the 14-minute mark is the third shot of the period. So you get 14 minutes of pretty clean hockey up to that point. We make one mistake and they score, and that happens in one-goal games. But again, we just got back to work. We had some chances late, and then obviously made good in overtime. So it was what we thought it would be in terms of the challenge offensively for them. And there's two tired teams at it today. They've had a tough schedule, but this is 4 games in 5.5 days for us as well. So it's kind of a bit of a taste of what you're going to be dealing with all season long in terms of the fatigue and injuries and all these things.
How is Pesce? Do you have an update on?
Yeah, he's not great. He's going to be out for sure. He won't travel with us.
What exactly happened there with Pesce? Was it the block shot or the?
Yeah.
The
I think so. I mean, when you say the block shot, it seems like he blocks every shot. So I'm not sure which one you're referring to. I haven't seen it back yet, but that's the nature of the injury. Yeah.
Is this is upper body, lower body?
Upper.
Yeah. So I was curious about the power play 2 deployment or power play 1 deployment. Obviously, you have Dougie move to power play 2. I feel like some might look at that and just say he had 2 goals last game. I know you like to switch it up, but just curious your thought process behind that.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've talked about it a lot about how we're going to approach it. It's going to be very dependent on our opposition and the style of penalty kill that we see. That we have different groups that we like to see, and it's not a half-assed process. We're doing it for a reason, and I think we've had it the other way. I think there's been times where Timo scored, and the next day he's not on it. It's a combination of doing what we think is right against certain opponents, and then at the same time in doing so, it keeps more people involved and makes us trickier to defend. So that's really it. Just adhering to a process, just not going to. Just because there was something worked one night, it's a completely different penalty kill here today. So we're trying to get ahead of that and utilize the assets that we have.
Coach, obviously you're missing Brett in the second period, but what was the challenge there that had Colorado in your guys' zone so often?
I didn't break out nearly well enough. Gave some pucks back to them. Didn't spend enough time in the offensive zone. And they are elite offensively. I mean, that's the best offensive team in the NHL. And it's certainly their best players drive a lot of it, but it's line over line. There's lots of skill. They play with a good process. They attack the net better than anybody. So that leads to getting on your heels. If you don't get out the first time, it becomes tricky, and you got to kind of ride that wave a bit, which I thought we did a good job of in that second period, especially. There's a couple of real long D zones there that we didn't give up the big chance. There's some time in the zone, and there's some shots heading towards our net, but we didn't give up. We didn't give up the dangerous one. In that first period, the back half of the last 10 minutes there, their goals they got, we gave up dangerous shots, dangerous looks. Their goal they scored in the third off that one chance that they got, that's a dangerous look. But I thought for good chunks of the game we managed that really well, and we'll have to do that likely even more so on the road.
And you've been complimentary of Gritsik thus far. Open the scoring tonight. Does it just feel like he's getting better and better every night here?
Yeah, I mean, he's had ups and downs. He's had really strong games and then, a bit of a dip the next night. But you're going to get that. We get that with everybody over the course of 82 games. I just touched on how challenging the schedule is here, right? I mean, this stretch, we're going to go on the road now and play 4 games. It's going to amount to, I think it's 8 games in 13 days. It's a harder schedule than you get in the playoffs and lots of moving around. So you get some of these ups and downs, but I thought he was excellent tonight. I mean, not just the goal, but just his work on the puck, strength on it. He had a really strong game today. So when he plays like that, he's a lot to deal with for the opposition, not just because of his offensive skills, but he gets in their way defensively and frustrates them.
And Markstrom dressed today. Allen making it a little hard for you to maybe not play him, though, at this point?
Allen's been unbelievable. He was great again here today. Like, even when they're not getting a lot of shots or chances, like, they move around the zone so much and zip the puck around. There's so much movement even when pucks aren't coming. And he was solid as all can be. But he's been great. But at the same time, we also have to manage his workload. We just touched on the schedule again, and now we're going to travel all the way to Colorado. So, it's good to have goaltending depth, and it's good to have Markey coming back at this time because, like I said, the amount of schedule here, we have to manage that, or we're going to be having injured goalies all season long, and we don't want that. So we got to manage these guys as best we can.
Dylan had 2 blocks, 3 hits. How reliable has he been for his role?
It's great. He does his thing. I mean, a huge hit here today that kind of gave the guys a bit of a boost in the bench. He's been solid. I mean, he's had his little stretch where he shot a couple in the net for us, but that's him stepping out of character. But what you do come to expect is him being solid and competitive and all that. So he's great. Nemec had a really great game here today. I mean, he stepped up when Pesce went down, but he was, even before Pesce went down, he was having a real good game. He was on the puck today. I think he ends up with 3 assists when it's all said and done. So that pairing, even though they spent a lot of time apart today, that pairing I thought had a really good night.
Yeah, Sheldon, I was just going to ask you about that. How impressive was that effort by your 5-man D there after Pesce goes down? What you saw out of them, and in particular, you did mention Nemec there, but also Luke Hughes too, the 2 young guys stepping up.
Yeah, Luke was great. I thought the more we needed our D, I thought he got even better in terms of solving problems and breaking pucks out. He skated out of trouble a bunch of times for us. That was probably the strength of our third period is how we were able to skate the puck out of pressure. And Luke led the way for us there. So, yeah, it's like you say, it's one thing. You lose a guy, you kind of go shorthanded now, and you got 2 young guys that you try to insulate and protect. They're great young players, but they need help. And it's harder to do that when you lose someone of Pesce's stature, and now the pairings are all different. The minutes are higher. The matchups get all messed up. So these guys got to really dig in, and both those guys really stepped up. That really helped those 5 guys get through it. Thank you.
Sheldon Keefe concluding his post-game news conference, and that's unfortunate news as it applies to Brett Pesce. We thought perhaps the high stick that wasn't called earlier was it, but he blocked a shot. Looking back at the score sheet, blocked a shot from Brent Burns. That was his last shift, and now he won't make the trip, so that's significant.
That was nice that Sheldon volunteered that, because we would have found that out anyway, but for the fans, the players know it, and they know what they're losing. But for the fans, I think we're going to find out just how valuable Pesce is most nights, Matty. And, he blocks so many shots. He's been felled with so many blasts this year when he gets up and plays through them. So if that's one he couldn't play through, you're talking probably 10 days, 2 weeks.
And so the Devils will find the 6th from Dennis Cholowski, who's been scratched throughout the season. Maybe, although different player entirely, Seamus Casey, who played on Saturday for Utica. Maybe he joins the team. Who knows? We'll see what decisions are made by the Brain Trust. 5 block shots for Shimon Nemec, including 3 assists. He was a +2 in 23-35 of ice time. Arseny Gritsuk had 5 shots on goal. He was credited with 3 hits, and he had another powerful game. Good to see. But now they got to do it all again on Tuesday night when the Devils take on the same Avalanche team.
Well, it's an 82-game schedule, Matty, so it's never going to end, and then the playoffs are going to start and say, okay, now you know what I mean? It's just they're a special team this year. They know it, and I got to tell you, winning today, that was bigger for their psyche than people realize. That, I don't know if Colorado is the best offensive team in the league. I haven't seen Vegas. Vegas got some dynamic players. But I'll tell you this, Colorado does have some high-end skilled players that the Devils had to pay attention to today. And for the most part, they did. Yeah, they sagged a little bit, but they didn't break. And no one thought they were going to dominate for 60. So The bottom line again is, Maddie, it's got to feel good because they found a way to win an overtime game.
Now 8-1-0 on the season as they get ready for the return engagement against Colorado on Tuesday night, a game that will be heard here on the Devils Hockey Network.